Well, hey there adventurers, it's TJ here, and I am here at Fort Raleigh National Historic Site on a beautiful morning here in the Outer Banks. And this is the site of a very well-known, infamous historical event and historical site where a group of English explorers in the late 1500s came here, sponsored by Sir Walter Raleigh, to establish a settlement here on Roanoke Island. Now, they realized pretty quickly that they needed more supplies, so they sent for supply ships, went back, and when the supply ships returned, everyone was gone. There was no real sign of what happened, and it was a failed attempt at a settlement, but was the beginning of the attempts of settling North America by the Europeans up until the first permanent English settlement at Jamestown. So we're going to go check out the museum. We're going to go check out the little bit of what they believe is remains of the colony. And then we are going to make sure we get our passport stamps, and then I'm going to head on to Cape Hatteras. So we are starting our adventure today here at the Visitor Center. Some nice hanging moss there. I always wonder what it was like back when they first got here. Now the fort itself and the Roanoke Island has been used throughout history. First and foremost, Roanoke, the colony, the lost colony. And then there was a settlement here established by freed slaves. Later another fort. And then obviously just kind of the permanent settlement that we have today with some of the towns and housing that's here. So this right here is a monument to a safe haven that was here as part of the National Underground Railroad. So it was a refuge for freed slaves, as you can see here. Civil War refuge. It was called the Freedmen's Colony. All right, here's another look here. Freedom Colony, Roanoke Island, 1862 to 1867. All right, let's head inside. Let's see what they got going on. Hey. So the biggest question for Roanoke Island is what happened to the lost colony? Now, one thing that is interesting is Reginald Fessenden experimented with radio and sent the first sound of a clear voice over the radio waves in 1902 from this island. So before the English colonists got here, the Carolina Algonquin Native Americans were here. They were very in tune with the water and the areas around them. In the summer they fished and they planted squash, beans, and corn that were harvested in the fall. Here is some of the earthwork and the furnaces that were used in the workshop. Now, Sir Walter Raleigh did want to go himself, but Queen Elizabeth would not let him leave England. So he sent Sir Richard Grenville to command that voyage and go document the new land. These are things that were made by members of the Carolina Algonquin and what might have been traded to the English. So John White went to England to get more supplies. And it took 3 years for them to get back because of a war with Spain. When they did get back, all they found was a stump with the letters Croatoan written on it. To this day, we don't know what happened. There's a lot of theories, though. And if you'd like to, you can actually write down your own theory about what might have happened here. Someone says the bigger man took them. Someone said they built underground holes and became hobbits. Someone said all the adults died and the kids became pirates. Some said they joined the natives, died of starvation. A lot of different opinions. What do you think? What do you think happened to the lost colonists? Now, there was a battle here as well during the Civil War, and the Union controlled Roanoke Island. So they do have a theater program. And this wood paneling is actually wood that was likely crafted in 1585 and brought here in 1926 to America. So some beautiful, beautiful. And then here, it kind of tells a story of what led up.
Raleigh, if you hope to survive in my court, you must mellow your arrogant pride. You are making many powerful enemies.
'Tis envy that grips them, my queen. They begrudge the time you spend with me. Their spite will only grow once I establish my base in the New World for English privateers. We shall sack the Spanish ships, and you shall be the wealthiest monarch in all of Europe. Your Majesty.
You are simple-minded, Raleigh. Your plan for instant wealth is little more than outright piracy. I forbid it.
One thing that's pretty cool is that this is actually being done by the actors of the Lost Colony play and musical that occurs right here at an amphitheater just down the way. So really cool that they tell the story with the actors and all that, you know, act that out all the time here at Roanoke Island. All right, so we're gonna take a nice little hike over to what they believe is unearthed earthworks from the original Fort Raleigh. So this is what they believe is earthworks from the British, made as kind of a defensive structure when they came here in the 1500s. Relatively small, but still interesting. All right, so I'm heading back to the visitor center, a really short walk, a really pleasant, nice little park here that isn't super involved, but it's still really interesting. I want to clarify that the earthworks behind me is a reconstruction, but that's okay. They say it was at that site that those earthworks were before. So I'm heading to Cape Hatteras now, but I just want to say this is a wonderful little park, a wonderful little historic site that talks about the lost colony. And I think it's really interesting to come see this. They do have the Lost Colony play back that way that they do, the musical that I'd love to see at some point, but I'm kind of in a rush this weekend. So I'm going to head to Cape Hatteras, go check that out. That'll be the next video. But thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you had a great time, and I hope you learned something new today.